Hey, yo, good people. Welcome back. Before we move on to the content of the episode today, I want to address something very, very important. I am recording this obviously during the corona pandemic, but also after the murder of George Floyd. So I would like to take a moment of silence. So if you are doing anything that can be dropped, and if you could join me for 10 seconds of moment of silence for George, I would really appreciate it. Let's go. In the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Thank you so much for participating. You are an awesome human and a true good person. Thank you. Hey yo, good people. My name is Niraj Gautam or Niraj. Let's just start using Niraj from now on because that's just what I use when I introduce myself with others. So, Niraj it is, your host of your new favorite show, My Good Place. And don't even fucking deny it. You just know it. Just look deep within. No, go deeper. You hear that sound? I'll wait. Yep, that's it. That's the sound of My Good Place. I'm there, baby. So, if you are a first-time listener, welcome. However, I shall warn you, you might just get obsessed with this podcast, alright? So, proceed with caution. And briefly, My Good Place is inspired by the two key ideas presented in the NBC show The Good Place, which are afterlife and our own unique good place. So if you haven't seen the show, it's alright, I got you. And if you haven't figured it out by now, there will be adult language, so again, proceed with caution. And to my returning folks, thank you so fucking much for all the love and support y'all showed me. I received great feedbacks, yeah. Y'all told me how I can make the future episodes more interesting, how can I improve your listening experience. I really, really, really appreciated all the comment and the feedback that you guys gave me, and keep them coming, guys. So if you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, my handle is @mygoodplacepod. And if you rather email me, just message me at mygoodplace.pod@gmail.com. And also, if you haven't already, rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts, alright? Give me 5 stars and make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you write a review. Just say anything. You can just leave your SSN, your maybe your mother's maiden name, maybe city of birth or pet's name. Nothing suspicious. Nothing at all. Okay, don't do that. But yeah, do write a review though, okay? Anyways, let's talk about today's episode because this one is special. I have a very, very special guest today. And also she is my roommate and an amazing soul. She is a dancer and an educator by trade, and she recently graduated. Yeah, she is one of those COVID 2020 graduate. So if you are interested in learning dancing or learn about dancing, find her on Instagram. Her handle is @PARI_RAJB. I repeat, @Pari_Rajb. So that is PARI_RAJB. Follow her and DM her if you are interested. I've personally known her for about 3 years now, and I cannot tell you how grateful I am to know her. She is extremely, extremely passionate about dance and educating about dance itself. So, a funny story, she once told me this anecdote about when she was like in 2nd grade. She was asked what she wants to be when she grows up, and she answered she wants to become a dancer. Then again, on the 3rd grade, she was asked again the same question, and she answered she wants to be a teacher. And throughout all these years, those two things did not change. And now, after many, many years, she is a dancer and a teacher. So I am excited for you all to hear this interview. And I introduce you, Parisha Rajbhandari. Hi, Parisha.
Hi.
So Parisha is also one of my roommate, so I didn't have to go really far to get her to interview. So I'm still quarantining, by the way, if any of the listeners are concerned. Thank you very much. So Parisha is a recent graduate from Mankato University, University of Minnesota, right?
Minnesota State University, Mankato.
Right, and she's a professional dancer. Shout out. And if anybody is looking for to hire a dancer, Parisha is here. So Parisha, let's start with your background. How you doing? How's Corona treating you and all that?
Well, like everyone, we are all quarantined in our house, and I've been good. I am privileged to be able to still dance at home and still be able to rehearse with the projects I have and with the company I'm with. So that's been doing like I've been doing good in that sense. I mean, it's definitely hard not being able to go out and all that stuff, but yeah, I've been okay.
That's good. So, how does yeah, is there a type of dance that you do?
Well, that's a hard question, at least for me personally, because I like my background in dance is very diverse, I would say, but I do a lot of movement based on hip hop technique, and I teach that as well. But I also understand that because I've learned a lot of other dance styles, and I am from Nepal, so I've been dancing traditional styles as well as classical styles over there as well. So there's a lot of dance vocabulary in my body that I have to respect and I have to acknowledge and I have to present. So that's a hard question to answer, but in short, I guess I started with hip hop. And obviously, since I went to university, I learned contemporary ballet and even a little bit tap and jazz. So yeah, I would say it's diverse in yeah.
So I'm telling you, people, if you're looking for a dancer with so much variety in her, you, I got you. I got you, people. All right. So dance was a harder topic, but what I'm what we are here to talk about, I hope that's not a hard one. So let's start with, do you believe in afterlife?
Um, you know, not really. I don't. Well, I wouldn't say it's like I don't hardcore believe it, but like anything in my life hasn't presented itself in a way for me to fully think that there is such thing as an afterlife. I'd be open to the concept. I'd be open to the belief of that, but it just hasn't happened yet in my life experience that I would believe it.
Well, I guess that's in anybody's, because after death,
Hmm.
I we don't know what
Yeah,
happens.
I suppose.
And that's like the period of periods.
Hmm.
So let's discuss death, I suppose. What do you think happens when you or after you die? Not when you die, like after, on the second one of your death.
Um, so since I'm not religious or I don't hold any certain value or belief system for afterlife, not yet. That's a little bit tricky for me to answer. But what I do believe in, or what I do understand for people and myself, is that I believe in energies and what we give off, especially when we talk or we as just living our life. I believe in energies, and I feel like, well, some part of you, like that energy of you, I guess it does release into the earth or the universe or wherever we are, right? So I feel like after we die, I guess that energy has to go somewhere. But I don't necessarily think that it's like an afterlife or something that happens, after you die, some like heaven, hell, or I don't know. I don't know about that. But I do think that the energy does go somewhere.
So That's actually a perfect segue to where I'm trying to head to. So, do you think if you're a moral person, if you follow, if follow good morality, I suppose, do you end up in a good place? Do you believe in a good place?
For me, I guess it's just the person I am. Good places or bad place is now. It's whatever you create now, whatever happens to you now, whatever you make it for other people now. Now, morality in itself is a big spectrum, in which well, if you think about it, shouldn't be like there should be a right or wrong, right? But with so many people in this world, it's a big spectrum, and I feel like things I consider moral might not be the same thing for other people, and so you know I don't necessarily think that if you're moral now, once you die, you're gonna end up in a good place. If I feel like it should be right now. Whatever you do has consequences right now, and you can see it. Like the consequences, you can feel it right now, after a year, whatever. But when you're alive, the consequences happens right now. So I don't necessarily look forward to, if I do good right now, after I die, I'm gonna end up in a good place. I myself, for myself, believe that if I do good right now, I'm hoping I can end up in a good place right now while I'm alive.
So I think from what I'm getting is it's mostly karma. You do good now, and good will happen to you.
You know, I don't know if you could. Well, I guess if you could look at it in a way, it is karma. But mostly, and the thing is, the sad thing is, if you do good now, it doesn't necessarily mean you will get paid in a good way, because that's not how it works, and that's not how people work either. But that also doesn't mean that I shouldn't do good now, and that's my belief system. That what I consider moral, what I consider good, is what I will do, and in the hope that I will not hurt another being or any other self than myself. So, um, yeah, I don't think that's necessarily how it works, but I can only be hopeful.
So let's say, hypothetically, uh, just for the sake of my show, let's make this good place happen. Let's say this good place does exist. What does your personal Parisha's good place look like?
Well, are you saying good place as in now, right now, or
No, let's say afterlife. After you die, you will end up in this one good ideal place. How you want your good place to look like? What does it look like? What does it? Yeah, let's start with what does it look like?
well, that's kind of hard to think about if I don't really necessarily believe in afterlife. It's like, because I mean, I'm never looking forward to, okay, when I die, I hope I end up in this place, because I'm always thinking about, while I'm alive, let's have a good place right here, or let's try to make a good place for the world, or for myself, or people around me. Um, I don't know, because that's a weird one for me. And I guess it also depends on when I die. You know? Like if I die right now without having accomplishing some of the dreams or some of the goals I have in my life, I guess one of the things after death would be, well, I hope I can experience those things, even if there is an afterlife. I hope I get to live those experiences through whatever that afterlife is. If somehow I think while I'm alive that I have achieved most of the things I wanted to do, well, after I die, I guess the good place would just to be able to just be like, look over the people that I have known so far, and I guess check back on the things that I did and how that's happening in the world, or just look at what's happening in the world itself without me in it. I guess that would
So
be.
you want to be the audience of the world, just look as be outside the world, but also look into it.
Yeah, I suppose so, because like I said, if I have created enough of a good place for myself while I'm alive, I don't necessarily think I'd be looking forward to something more after death, because and that would just mean I'm just observing, and I'm just you know, acknowledging and appreciating whatever my life was. But if I haven't,
Mm-hmm.
then I mean, it would make sense for me to want that in my good place. And that would mean, I don't know, right now when I think about it, it's like creating every day, dancing every day, exploring every day, being able to understand people and being able to ask difficult questions, being able to just look forward to a better place, or for just not myself, but
People in general.
yeah, people in general or the place I live in. But yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's perfectly understandable. So again, we are still in this hypothetical world in your utopia where everybody is good, everybody is doing good for each other, helping out each other. And why do you think that's important? Uh, and you said good for people in general. Do I, do you not get that here in how do you feel about that piece? Are you getting those kind of responses right now in this real life?
Mm, doing good for the.
Are people still good? Do you find people doing good in general right now in this real life or not?
It's a yes and no because I know people, I've experienced people who are genuinely very good in the sense that they're very honest, they're genuine, they're authentic, they would never intentionally hurt anyone or anything in this world. But there are also people that I can't understand in the sense that their actions, their behavior that end up not only hurting themselves but also everyone else. And you could talk about endless things in this world like crimes. I mean,
Violence and all that.
yeah, violence, and I mean even environmental problems that people choose to act on without thinking about their consequences. There are a lot of things that, in my opinion or my belief system, that's not necessarily good for the people around them, for the environment around them. So I mean, I've seen both.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you. One thing in my personal good place I will not have is the problem of climate change. I do
Mm-hmm.
not fucking want that. So let in this hypothetical world that we have, your good place, if you get a chance to take three things, it could be material, abstract, anything. If you can take three things with you after you're dead, what would they be?
Hmm.
And like I said, it can uh, be specific. Like if you just say knowledge, what kind of knowledge you if you want to take with you, or yeah, try to be more specific.
Yeah. Well, three things, huh? Let's see. Well, I would say because I'm big on feelings and I'm big on experiencing those things and emotions and all that. So I would hope that I'm able to keep on feeling alive. Now that's funny because after you're
Yeah, you're
dead,
dead.
right? So alive in the sense that alive about the things I'm passionate about. The top of my on the top of my head, it's dancing, and not just like movement. It's about creating and feeling um, that passion, that fire of knowing that you're able to do something, you're able to create something, and you're able to make people or other things or other beings feel something. So that feeling, I hope that I would still have that. Um,
So in a way, consciousness. But
yeah,
I again, like you said, consciousness. I personally believe that's what makes us alive.
yeah, but more than that, I think it's consciousness. Yes, that has to do with um the way you think, right? But I'm tapping more into it's the soul of it all. It's the because sometimes our actions are not really logical. We go on instincts. We go on what we feel. I mean, obviously your brain's involved, that there's no question on that. But some of the things that I experience when I create, it's not just a logical way of doing things. It's about how I feel in that instant moment, how I feel alive in that instant moment, and it doesn't necessarily have to be how I consciously think. It's the energy I get out of people. It's the energy I get from the things I create. So that kind of feeling is what I'm talking about, rather than the consciousness of it all. If that makes sense. It's
No,
like,
no, it totally does.
um,
What else we taking?
it's funny because I think that would be enough for me, honestly, because that's what I live on, and that's what I hope to have even after I die. But
I would think you'd take Kofu with you. And for listeners, Kofu is Parisha's bunny. She has a pet bunny.
yeah, well, as much as I love that little guy, but what if he doesn't want to have? Okay, I'm one of those people. I'm like, what if they don't want to do it? Why do I have to impose um my what do you call it?
Authority.
Not even that, my fantasy. My fantasy
True.
on even my pet. Like maybe he just wants to have like 12 good years with me and then just get into his afterlife, even though he probably doesn't think about anything other than food and sleeping and getting pet, right? But
And the contrary, he might be like, fuck y'all. I mean, fuck this shit.
I mean, yeah, I mean, hey, if he wants to join me, I would be happy to have him. Um, but I mean, I hope that if there is an afterlife, another thing would be if maybe there are other people who have their afterlife too, and then people who give me good energy, give me good, have given me good life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope that they're there because I am big on community. I strive and I thrive in a community of good people.
Social aspect of it all.
Yeah, social aspect and people who help me motivate myself do better. So I hope that if they have an afterlife, then they join me in mine. Um, what else? I wouldn't take any material with me. I that's just something that's just something that doesn't really excite me.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't excited me in my life yet, and I don't think it will in my afterlife either. Um, then I don't know what else would it be.
Uh, while you're thinking, while we're talking about this community and social aspect of it all, do you only want to have good people in your, or yeah, I guess that's the point of whole good place.
Yeah, well, see, good is a very subjective word. Like I said, good means, even for me, in different aspects of my life, good means different, right? Would I want people with different perspective than mine? Yes, but that doesn't make them bad people either, right? Would I want people challenging my perspective? Yeah, of course, because then afterlife would also be boring with just like-minded people who preach the same thing as I do, right? Um, but would I want people who hurt other people intentionally? Probably not, because I mean, I've suffered that enough in my life that I don't want that in my afterlife. So, yeah. Um,
So what are we taking for your third
yeah,
step, which is not material?
I still don't know. Maybe I'll just get to have good food. And considering I'm vegan, so I just hope that there are things that are insanely tasty.
I'm glad that you brought your vegan topic, I suppose. So, would you want everybody to be vegan? Again, I guess it comes back to people having different belief.
Yeah. No, I mean, I never force. I mean, you know me, and a
Yeah.
lot of people who've been around me. I never force anyone to choose the food lifestyle I have chosen. I chose it for my specific reasons, right? And I don't want to impose that on people because, like I said, like I mean, there's clearly a lot of environmental impact on being meat eater, right? In the sense that the industry and all of that, you can go Google it, it's all over the internet, right? So there's a lot of that aspect. But other parts of the world, that's culture. Eating meat is culture, right? I mean, I grew up in a culture that needs to have meat or eggs or meat product, dairy product, right? So I don't question that either, because I've not lived long enough to question all of those things. Just because I know knowledge about certain things doesn't mean I know knowledge about life or knowledge about past values and experiences and the reasoning behind it all, because I haven't researched it enough. I don't think I have that kind of validity, I guess, to say that, hey, everybody should be vegan, right? I have my reasons and I hold that in my space. And if anybody asks me, if anybody genuinely wants to know about it, I'll always talk to them. But I don't think everybody needs to be vegan.
No, yeah, I understand. You cannot you cannot and you should not impose your belief to anybody,
Mm-hmm.
because like you've been stressing, everybody has their own belief on good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree with that, and I totally support that. So uh, a fun question. Let's say you can take three celebrities with you, dead or alive. They can be dead or alive, but if they're alive, they're gonna drop dead. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
you know.
So, uh, who are the three persons
Oh
gonna
my
be?
gosh, the first one, Trevor Noah. I'm gonna just take him. I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
cannot.
he'll be in the middle of the show.
I
He'll just
Yeah,
dropped.
I'm sorry, Trevor, but if you happen to be alive when I die, I'm taking you with me, because you, yeah, his perspective on life, the way he talks, the way he thinks, everything about that guy is really respectful, and I respect that person a lot, and I just would hope that he's there with me. And of course he's cute too, so he'd be nice to look at. Um oh wow, I just love him, don't I? Other two people I don't even know.
Yeah, that came out fast.
Yeah, no, as soon as you said it I was like, well, he's got to be there. There's no
Okay,
other
it can be a
options.
fictional person too. So if you want to take Harry Potter or somebody, I'm just saying,
uh
because we're
Fiction.
all talking fictional stuff. No, it doesn't have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Jeez, wow. Celebrity.
Yeah,
I'm
or
not.
any famous person or infamous. Like I'm not judging, you know.
Yeah.
If you're trying to take Charles Manson with you and all,
Uh,
Ted Bundy.
no, I think I'd be good without them. I'll be fine. Um, I'm just big on comedians and stand-up comedy, and
All right, who's next?
I,
I'm interested.
I feel like it would be Hassan Minaj.
Okay.
It would be interesting to have him, because some of the way he talks is like he's so over energized, and he would annoy me the entire time. But like, I have someone like that in my life right now, right? My partner, who is exactly like that. So I guess that would be fun too,
Okay.
to have him there. Who else?
Only if your partner was famous, huh? You would take.
Right,
Nah.
oh yeah, I guess I probably would, or maybe not. We'll see when I die how much he annoys me. But
Facts.
yeah. um who's the third one? I mean, I could take Ellen.
Ellen DeGeneres.
She's one heck of a person. She's wonderful. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, all three persons you said, they're great humans. They
Yeah.
are amazing humans.
Mm-hmm.
So, before I let you go, we're coming towards the end of the show, and I want to get any final thoughts about this whole idea of afterlife and the whole concept of having a good place.
You know, yeah, like I said, even after this conversation, I still don't truly believe that there is. But if you do believe there is, that's actually, I think that's nice. That's something nice to look forward to. Because I think we need purpose in our life. Like, some people get motivated by their goals in their life, like me. Like, I live in this right now, and I get motivated, and I have a purpose to leave this world a better place than it was yesterday or than it is today, right? But some people have the purpose to do good so that they can have a better life even after life, right? And I think that's a wonderful thing too. So I just think, as long as you have a purpose in your life, after life or not, I think it's a wonderful thing. And
And
yeah.
And I really liked what you said at the very beginning. This is the afterlife. This is the good place.
Yeah.
And it is what you make it to be.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes what you make it to be. So I think that will be the biggest takeaway for my listeners. Just make this today better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So thank you so much for being on my show and giving me your time, talking to me about your fantasies, and also not imposing on your rabbit.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And ladies and gentlemen, Parisha. Alright, Trevor. If you're listening to this, Parisha is coming after you, yo. Anyway, what did I tell you about this interview? Wasn't she amazing? Okay, how she talks about having people with different perspective in her good place and even making this current place the good place. That is just inspiring, yo. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know how can make your listening experience better. Show Parisha some love and support. Again, her Instagram handle is PARI_RAJB. And you can follow my podcast, Twitter or Instagram at mygoodplacepod. And message me, email me at mygoodplace.pod@gmail.com. And I will promise to improve. Just feel free to reach out to me. I will deliver, make your experience better. Help me make your listening experience better. I cannot stress this enough, okay? So stay safe, be nice to each other. Let's work towards making this current place our good place. Thank you.